So Threadless, this is our biggest project, obviously. The idea is people come to the website and submit ideas for designs for t-shirts. And then those designs get rated on a scale of 0 to 5, and you also choose whether or not you buy the t-shirt. And we look at the highest scoring designs and print them and actually make products out of the highest scoring designs.
What's interesting about Threadless, at least I think it's interesting, I can't speak for you guys, but like, it's the exact same idea that it started as. Regardless of how much the company has scaled, regardless of how many t-shirts we sell per month, it's the exact same idea, and the only thing that we've done is added to it and not changed it fundamentally. So I think that's a huge part of the success of Threadless, is that if you have a community site, which, you know, this started out, I guess we can give the short history of Threadless. Threadless started as started on Dreamless after there was a t-shirt competition that Jake actually won. And then they had, him and Jacob started Threadless on Dreamless, so it was a thread on Dreamless, hence Threadless. So that was, I mean, basically that's exactly where it started. And it was just about having this community come together, do art, and having there be something made out of it. And you know, it hasn't changed at all, and I think that's really important for keeping people around. I think a lot of the problems that we see in community sites now is that there's this total like rotating cast of people who come in and out, and there's very few people who are there from day one. And it's because you start out with an idea and then you change it so much, even if you're starting to listen to what your community is saying, and even if you're like, oh, that was a great idea. It's only a great idea if it adds to the value and doesn't change it. So a lot of sites that we're seeing absolutely, completely are different than the way they started. So it was really important for us to keep Threadless exactly the same way that it started.
All right, and the next project we wanted to talk about is Naked and Angry. Naked and Angry was made kind of like as an extension to Threadless, but people submit tiling patterns rather than designs for t-shirts. And then we make various products out of the tiling patterns. So like we've done neckties and wallpaper so far.
Yeah, 2007 is going to be a good year for Naked and Angry, only because Naked and Angry is not a tie company. And we get all the, you know, hey, how's the tie company going? Like, it's great, it's not a tie company. The problem is that it's really, really easy to make t-shirts, and it's really not easy to make just about everything else. So, you know, the ties were like, hey, we found a place that makes ties. Sweet, design packaging, cool. It's done, awesome. It'll be here in 19 weeks. Are you serious? Like, it was like the worst thing ever. So we waited to, you know, it was on a boat and it came through, and then we started selling them, and we're like, all right, cool, what's next? Okay, who knows how to make other stuff? Oh, we have a friend who works at a custom wallpaper place. Sweet, wallpaper, we'll do that next. So it was like, that's sort of the way that it started. Now, actually, Naked and Angry is, something exciting happened recently, is we actually hired somebody who knows how to work in this industry, who, that was probably the smartest thing that we've done with Naked and Angry, is, you know, the idea stayed the same. That was really important. We didn't want to change anything about the idea. People submit tiling patterns, they turned into products in the story. But, you know, we were doing things like trying to work with a PR company to get them to promote the ties, and the magazines are like, what season is it? And we're like, I don't know, spring? What the hell are you talking about? We didn't understand anything about that, and furthermore, it was really ambitious of us to be like, all right, we're going to start with ties and wallpaper, and we're going to turn into men's, women's, housewares, and accessories, and people are just going to understand that because we make t-shirts. Like, it just, so hiring this guy is really good, and in 2007, just like a little plug for the products, is like, we have one thing for every room coming out for Naked and Angry, which I'm really excited about, and then we have like handbags and wallets and these like custom pattern hoodies, which I think we might have missed the mark on that, but they're just trying a little bit. Those take a really long time to make. If you guys are trying to make hoodies, don't even try. Yeah, well, yeah, people submit the pattern, and then they get voted, like you just said, and then the difference is with Threadless is there's a lot of follow-through on these winning designs, where we make shirts out of them, and what we've been doing is, I think with Naked and Angry, we have something like, I don't know, like 250 winning designs, and 2 different types of products. So we've used 10 designs, and we have 240 waiting. So there's going to be 240 really awesomely patterned products coming out soon. But yeah, it's the same idea. You know, Naked and Angry started because early on we decided that we weren't going to do anything except for make t-shirts with Threadless. And we actually did break that rule a little bit because we're making long sleeves and hoodies now and kids stuff. But we figured like, all right, we're going to limit it to your torso. And like anything from here to here, cool, here to here, cool. It's somebody else's business from the waist down.
Okay, next project is Extra Tasty. We made this because we were all having barbecues and bringing liquor over to each other's houses, but not really drinking it. And we all ended up with these huge liquor cabinets, and we're not bartenders, so we don't know how to make drinks. So we made this site to help us figure out how to do that.
Yeah, Extra Tasty is one of the projects that isn't product oriented. We were starting to get this reputation for being product oriented. So we were like, we should do something that's just fun like that. So this was again born out of our necessity, not really anyone else's in mind. But I think it's a safe assumption that most people drink and that most people make the worst drinks ever. So this, the idea behind this was similar to Threadless. You submit a recipe, it gets scored on. The highest scoring ones become the drink of the day. The drink of the day recipes get a shot glass, a pint glass, a t-shirt. But what's cool about Extra Tasty and what's interesting about the way our company was going with Threadless and Naked and Angry is that when you're not doing client work, you tend to get stuck in this rut of you're like, all right, I'm good at these 3 things. You just try and spin off these 3 things forever until they're tired. So we wanted to try and do something different with Extra Tasty. So that was our first sort of like jump into working with text message and SMS stuff. So that was like, that took a while to like get the technology down and figure it all out. And it's really expensive. I don't know if you knew that, but it's really ridiculously expensive to start into that. But we did it anyways, and it's still a free site. So which is actually good that Threadless makes money because we can afford to do stuff like do text messaging and not have to charge anyone for it. But the whole point of Extra Tasty is that you submit recipes, you try something new, and 2007, we basically, February 14th is the year, right? Yeah, so it's going to be a year. So recently we sat down and we're like, all right, the site's successful, we have people there, people are using it, what can we do to make it better? Which is actually kind of an interesting thing. We can probably show that screen, this screen. So this is really important for us. And this is that your project is not good enough. And it's something that everyone should keep in mind. Our projects, as far as we're concerned, are never good enough. So Extra Tasty, we were like, all right, it's successful, people are there, but it's not good enough. Like, it's not about, oh, there's not 1 million people there, so it's not good enough. And it's not, oh, our traffic isn't up or whatever. It's, if we do something that people like, then somebody else is going to do it. And then their aim is to be better than you, so your aim has to also be to be better than you. So this is something that's really important with a lot of our projects, which is that we always have to keep in mind that no matter what we do, it's never done. Because once it's done, you just cash out and close your doors. Because if you're not always trying to make everything better, then there's really no point in working on it.
I always found, just as a programmer, that I'm always trying to make my projects scalable, and so that once I program it, it's set, and I never have to touch it again. But I've been trying to get out of that mind frame a lot lately, just because you always need to get in there, tweak stuff, add stuff, and make sure your users know that you're on top of stuff, changing things based on their feedback.
So I think, all right, we've gone over our projects long enough. We can get to the main point,